What up?
What up?
Quick question. Do you think entitlement is only limited to people with wealth? Because it's not. I'm starting to realize more and more that thing is stretched all across the board. And dare I say, there might even be poor mentality people are the ones with entitlement even more.
Right.
The people with the poor mentality are the ones with the entitlement. And I'm gonna break down why I say that. We saw a lot of different things today, and him in particular, he experienced a really weird situation where someone exhibited extreme entitlement, and they weren't a rich person.
Nope.
They weren't rich. They weren't white.
They're the exact opposite of a rich white person.
Right.
They're exact opposite.
Right. Now dig that. She wasn't rich and she wasn't white.
Nope.
But she exhibited extreme entitlement.
Yep.
And we're gonna and the topic and the reason and what this topic is really about today is how entitlement can definitely kill your success.
Yeah.
Why it leads to failure, matter of fact.
Yeah. Why entitlement always leads to failure.
100% of the time.
I don't give a shit how much money you got. I don't give a shit what location you're born in. If you're a male or female, what your sexual orientation is. If you are an entitled person, if you think, matter of fact, let's get down to the definition of what entitlement means.
100%.
Hold on now. Let me find
before we
it.
even get into that, let's talk about
Let me
what the
look up.
definition.
Let me look up what the definition of entitlement is.
Right, because that word gets thrown around so much. But I think there's some misconceptions about it.
So this states entitlement, the belief that one is inherently, that means automatically, naturally, organically, for no reason, inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment,
Ooh,
often without having earned or deserved them.
damn. Now listen to that.
Anybody know anybody like that?
Say
Anybody
it
know
one more
anybody
time.
like that?
Say it one more time and listen to this.
Entitlement, the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment, often without having earned them or deserved.
Damn. Now, how many people you know like that?
Now, we know there's some spoiled brats out there with money that was born with money and all that have that mentality. But I don't know about y'all, but it really fucking bothers me and it's kind of a mind fuck to meet a person that has absolutely nothing material in this world, or not seemingly, I'll say that, seemingly doesn't have a lot of wealth and is entitled. Basically thinking you owe them something or the world owes them something. Let me just say this, nobody owes you shit. Nobody, especially if you're an adult. If you're fully abled, able-bodied, got all your faculties, healthy adult, no one owes you shit.
No one owes you shit if you don't.
Even if you don't. Life isn't fair. That's just reality. So no one owes you shit, especially if you're fully able-bodied adult. Now, let me tell you something. This morning, when I was going to work, this woman I live downtown, I'm in downtown Long Beach, so there's a lot of poverty, a lot of homelessness around the area. And this homeless lady that I've seen before in the neighborhood, I've had conversations with her before. They weren't necessarily unpleasant as this one. But this lady before had made sexual remarks to me and shit, told me I was handsome, whatever. People have conversations, whatever. So I've had an encounter with her before, but this morning, I'm rushing in the 7-Eleven to get me some coffee, right? Some iced coffee before I go to work. And as I'm on the way out the door, I'm already kind of low-key running late, so I'm rushing. And I'm looking at my phone, checking the time as I'm leaving the store. And as I open the door, I see her, but I'm not really paying attention to her because I got to go.
Right.
And I heard her mumble something, but I thought she was talking to herself. Mind you, it's 6 a.m. And so on the way out the door, she opens the door and yells at me. I said, hold it.
Right there.
And I'm like, what's she talking about? Hold what? Hold it. I'm like, what you mean, stop? And I'm like, I can't stop. I got to go later. I got to catch this bus. And then so she goes, I just told you to hold it. And she's like, I asked you to hold the door. And I'm like, oh. I go, oh, sorry. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm running late,
First of all, she didn't ask.
She didn't ask. First of all, she said, I told you. She said, first of all, it was weird. Why are you telling me to do anything? I don't have to do shit.
Like, I don't owe you anything.
Yeah, once again, I owe you that, So anyway, so as I said, I'm sorry, she goes, you are sorry. You sorry, motherfucker. Whoa. And then she says, and you need to cut off that damn haircut, change that stupid ass haircut, and calls me a negative derogatory term for a homosexual man. Let's just say that.
Right.
And I'm not a homosexual, but you know, she assumed I was apparently, or maybe she just wanted a reaction out. You know,
Even if he had been.
Mind you, I'm not the type of man that get offended by anything like that. That's just not who I am. I don't give a shit. You can come wherever you want. Even if you do attack my sexuality, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, so she said that, and in my mind, I literally wanted to just I wanted to retort. I wanted to say something bad back to this woman. Mind you, she's my elder, and I wasn't raised like that, and I don't believe in that. You know, and she's a black woman. I would never. You know, that's why I didn't, because it's just not what I believe in. Right. You say now she put her hands on me, threw something at me. It's a different story. But she just, you know, she verbally attacked me. Mind you, she had no real reason to. You know, no real reason. She's mad at me as if I did her dirty. I guess she just wanted me to open the door for her, but I couldn't do it that day. I didn't hear you. I was in a rush. Now, was that warranted? No, I don't think it was.
Not at all.
But let's get down to the bottom of why I think she did that. She did it because she assumed I owed her the time of day to stop and talk to her or even give her any attention.
Right.
As if I don't have enough going on in my own personal life.
She was more important than what you had going on
Me
already.
stopping and arguing and talking to her to open the door for her was more important than me getting the best on time, getting to work on time, where I go make my money.
Right.
Mind you, I wanted to be like, bitch, at least I got a place to go. At least I got fucking money in my pocket. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know about you, but then I thought to myself, this is why you're in the situation maybe.
Right.
Because your fucking heart is in the wrong place. You got a fucking cold, disrespectful, negative disposition. Right. You know, I would think someone in her position would be a little bit more pleasant, a little bit more grateful, a little bit more graceful. You know what I mean? Just polite in general.
Right.
I would think that when you're in that position where you don't need other people, but when you're in a position where you're lacking things and maybe you could use some assistance, especially as an older woman out here in these streets.
Yeah, you'd be more likable.
You'd be more likable.
Right.
I was like, you're the exact opposite of likable.
Right.
You know?
It's like if you're expecting people to help you, obviously you are.
Yeah.
You assume, matter of fact, you assume people are going to be giving you things. You see that's based off how you act.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around with the mentality that people owe you things, that you're expecting people to help you,
you're losing.
You would think you would already have, but you would think, we already know you're losing, but I'm just saying, if you're already living your life based off people giving you things, you would think you'd be more likable to attract those things.
If you're dependent on other people to get you day to day, you think you're nicer to people.
More nicer, right?
More likable.
But she was already dead wrong anyway, because like you just said, you're walking around with the mentality assuming people owe you.
Yeah.
Right? When you done nothing to deserve it.
Like, and I didn't even hear her because she was mumbling. I thought she was mumbling to herself. Right. Like, was I supposed to stop and be like, who are you talking to? Was I supposed to do that?
Right.
Like, who even does that? First of all, if I want somebody to hear me, I'm not gonna mumble. I'm gonna make sure you hear me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was my first thought. Well, I didn't even hear you because I didn't know you were talking to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Second, who made you so important? Why didn't you pay attention to you anyway?
The audacity that you're so important. The narcissism in her made her think that she's so important that she's more important than what I got going on at the moment.
Right.
I'm supposed to stop and talk to her and acknowledge her.
Right.
It don't always work that way. Maybe that day I got shit to do. Ladies, you ever consider that?
Right.
Damn.
And something else about that story that also kind of makes you bring up is the concept of attraction. You know, you attract what you are, right? You know that. And if you're walking around with, for lack of a better word, a poor mentality, you're being a poor person. And I say poor person as in the low quality vibration, right?
Yeah.
Low quality vibration. You're walking around with that mentality. What do you think you're going to attract? You're going to attract poor situations, aka poverty. Right or wrong?
Exactly.
That's just something that instantly came to me right there. If you're being a poor person, meaning when I say poor person, I mean in the way you act, the way you're being is poor. You're being poor. So of course you're going to attract poor situations.
Right.
Meaning lack of, whatever physical stuff, you need money or whatever the fuck else monetarily.
Yeah.
But that's just one thing. That's not really the topic of the situation, but that's just one thing that stands out to me with that right there,
So I just think that, if you're in a position where you're lacking things in life and you're going through poverty, the best thing you could do for yourself is get your vibration up so you can manifest more shit, the shit that you need in life.
That should be the basis right there.
Get your vibration up.
Stand on that right there. Let's start with the foundation of let me get my vibration right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me not walk around blaming people and being angry at people. or being angry at all. Because it's still the vibe, you know what I mean? It's still a vibe that you're putting out there.
And I don't like to talk about this much because it's already in the past, right? But I'm just going to use this example because so you guys understand where I'm coming from when I say this, that I know from a personal experience that even when I was homeless out here, I mean, literally, I was out here homeless for real, that I never looked for anybody to do anything for me. I never asked nobody. I never expected nobody to do nothing for me. I was out here getting it on my own, you know what I mean? And because I know nobody owed it to me. And I never would have thought to cut somebody out because they said no to me. But I didn't ask anyway. But if I did, you think I would have been mad at somebody for saying no to me? They don't owe that to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's responsible for themselves. Sad part is this woman was well into her fucking 50s.
That's the really sad part, right?
And you would think, how they say wisdom comes with a certain age and all that shit.
That, right?
But I was like, clearly this bitch missed the fucking lesson. She missed the fucking mark.
And that can happen.
That
can happen. You can imagine going through all these ups and downs, all these lessons, and you never learned anything from it. You just went through it.
Yeah.
You just went through it.
Absolutely.
And you never learned nothing? That's sad to me. That would be, talk about a waste of life. That would be a waste of life to me.
Yeah, because I'm thinking to myself, what can I even learn from this woman?
Right.
I mean, you ain't even got that much right. You
Right.
don't even have enough humility to just accept no or just not getting what you want with a positive fucking vibe.
Right.
You can't even do that.
Right.
You turned bitter on me all of a sudden.
Right.
1 minute, the week before that, she was complimenting me, trying to hit on me. And then she sees me now, this morning, because I didn't do what she wanted to do, what she wanted me to do, or respond how she wanted me to respond. Now I'm all this other shit.
Right.
She said, you gonna be late too. Wishing negative on me.
Hater.
That's what I mean. You all of a sudden you a hater now.
And you gonna be late to work too.
And you gonna be late to work.
Like, see, you see what I'm saying? You see the correlation though? You saying you see the connection? You know what I mean? I'm like, damn.
A poor individual, no matter how much money you got or not, you always gonna be poor because mentally you poor.
Right.
And that showed me that she was a poor person.
You wish bad on a stranger.
Yeah, wish bad on me.
On a stranger. So you don't know me, but you wishing bad on me.
Because I would think she'd have been like, sorry about that, baby. I already apologized to her. Right. She said, she dug in even more. Yeah, you are sorry. Ain't that a bitch? I thought she was going to be like, it's okay. Now that I apologize, I thought she'd be like, it's all right. Get to work on time. That's what I would have said.
Right.
But she just wished worse on me after that.
On top of that.
All because I didn't hear her say, open that door for me. Not can you, will you please, or nothing like that. But just I said, hold it. The fuck?
Yeah, and that's another thing, because I have an example of, like, I remember when I used to work, I told you when I used to work at a halfway house. I used to work at a halfway house, a federal halfway house in St. Louis. I was there for a hell of time. And one of the things that stood out to me was when I worked with the clients there, which were all men who were straight out of prison, you saw some guys who had some manners, who knew how to say thank you, please, But I'll tell you, like, I'd say about 80% of them, off the back, as a boy would say, right off the top, though, I would notice they would always demand. They would say, give me this, give me that. Not, can I please have, or will you please give me that? And they never said thank you. And I thought that was just weird coming from what I thought, from what I've heard anyway, out here in these streets, that in jail, that's the number one rule is respect. That's what makes things go round and round in there, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just ironic, now that you get out, as soon as you get out, you lose all that. You lose all those manners. Now it's give me this and give me that. It's not no thank you. And I thought that's incredible, And I was like, and I started to realize these motherfuckers are entitled. That's crazy that you just got out of a situation like that, and now you think I owe you something.
Yeah.
Do your job. I heard all kind of crazy shit. I was like, that's crazy that we always put entitlement on rich people. They're entitled. When I'm seeing, well, damn, maybe they do, but I'm seeing a good number of these motherfuckers who would be considered poor people,
Right.
And you have a strong vibe of entitlement, and I'm thinking maybe you might want to look into that. If you're a person going that's living that kind of life, no judgment. But maybe, especially if you're a person trying to get out of it, let me say it like that. If you're someone who's trying to look for a solution, because we are solution-based people, you know that. So I'm saying here's a solution possibly. Yeah. Look into the fact that maybe you have an entitled mentality. Yeah. And you didn't think you did, because I know a lot of times in this society, we throw out entitlement only when it comes to poor people. Yeah. Or rich people, I should say. But I'm thinking that maybe
there's poor people out there.
There's a lot of poor people. I'm going to say it again.
There's a lot of poor people out there.
There's a lot of poor people who may be partially poor because of your entitlement, your entitled mentality, your expectation expecting things that people to give you things because you didn't earn it, without earning it. I do believe we in this physical world, we have to earn everything we get. I'm not saying it has to be hard. I'm not saying it has to be tons of effort, but you do have to put in some type of action to receive something. That's just what how these physical laws work, right? You do deserve it right off the bat. Don't get me wrong. You do deserve it. Just being born here, you deserve it. Yeah. But you do have to put in some kind of effort to get something back. Yeah. You have to put in some kind of action to get something back. It doesn't automatically just fall into your lap. That's what we talk about entitlement. That's what I mean by entitlement. No one owes you anything, right? So, yeah, you might want to check that if you're going through something like that in your life. Or if you're trying to stay away from it, check that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fucking sad to see an adult, especially an elderly adult, with that type of mentality.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially an older person.
Especially,
because you've lived through life. You learned your lessons. Yeah. You hope you did.
Yeah, I mean, like, I should be able to gain something from you.
Right.
Knowledge-wise, at the very least.
Right.
But with that type of mentality, I know I can't. Because that's the first thing you should be learning as an adult, that nobody owes you shit.
Right.
I mean, today, like another story, another example. This happened again later today. A couple hours ago, I was meeting up with him, and the OG that we see all the time. We know him. I know him from the streets, and I see him all the time. I used for a while. Every now and then, I look out for him. You know what I mean? Just because I know he's older and he came from went through some of the same shit that I could relate to. But the difference is, when I was out there on the streets, I was working towards getting up off the streets.
Right.
Now I'm off the streets.
Right.
And now I still see him every day. That tells me he's been doing this longer than I have. He's okay with it. That's fine. That's his prerogative.
He's made a career out of it.
He made a career depending on other motherfuckers to do for him.
Right.
Whatever. That's his fucking
Imagine
choice.
that.
Not judging it, just what it is.
He made a career depending on someone else to do for you.
And I say that to say that today he sees me. Like usually normal. If I have some weed on me, a couple dollars out here, or buy him a beer or whatever. But it's not my job to look out for you. It's not my job, nigga. And today he sees me and goes, not no hello, not how you been, how's things going.
Right.
He just says, I need some flour, man. No, you got it. Yeah, I got it. I always got it. But the reality is, I told him I'm on my way to go do something. I don't have time. Because the reality is, I don't have time to go out of my way to make sure you get high. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? The idea of that.
You need anyway.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, it's whatever, man. Like, you do what you do with your own life. But if you want to get high, that's for you to figure out.
Right.
But don't come at me like you expect me to just do it for you.
My job to make sure
you're not
high.
my peoples. You're not my pops. You're not my uncle. Not none of that. Just a nigga I know on the streets like a bunch of other motherfuckers. You know? And you've been doing this for a while.
Mind you, I hardly know you at that.
I hardly know you like that. But just on the strength, I would look out from time to time. But now I'm feeling disrespected when you expect it from me.
Right.
What the fuck?
Now you expect it. And that's the thing. You gotta watch that with just even some family members, though. I've seen that too. You know, you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, it's just at least a bad taste in your mouth when a motherfucker come at you like that, like they expect something from you.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing wrong. Like if you're blessed and you got it, that's how it's supposed to be. Right. You should be the motherfuckers people come to.
Right, but be aware of the people who start to expect
who expect it though.
That's where you gotta say no.
It's offensive
no more.
at that point.
Right.
You don't know what I might be going through. My mom, my dad could have died, whatever. And first thing you coming to me is asking me for some shit you need from me,
right.
Not what you can do for me. Or how's my day going? The first thing you ask me is what I got for you.
Right. Did you consider the fact that what it took for me to get this?
Exactly. Nigga, I went to work for this,
what
nigga.
What it took for me to get it?
What about, like I said, it boggles me, like people like him. It's like, nigga, you don't remember me pushing the fucking luggage out here?
Yeah, he definitely saw you.
And Rusty out here? You don't remember that?
What
nigga?
about a congratulations, asshole?
Not once did he ever tell me that, like, I'm glad I see you up now.
Right.
None of that. None of that. Because those be the motherfuckers we better watch for.
But he ain't happy. But obviously, based on what we were just talking about, more than likely he's not happy that you're up anyway.
Yeah. So,
he's probably low-key jealous.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because usually you see these type of traits, they usually exist with people.
He didn't even ask me how I got up. You know what I mean? Like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? None of that.
Yeah.
That's the weird shit.
All those things usually exist in those kind of people. I just got to call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know? Those type of traits usually exist in those type of people with that type of mentality.
Yeah, so now I ain't gonna lie. Low-key, when I see him, man, I fucking avoid him.
Yeah. I
ain't got shit to say to that. What the fuck can he teach me? What the fuck can he give me that I haven't already gotten for myself or that I can't get for myself? Yeah. Not even knowledge-wise. And I give him that benefit of doubt because he's older. But he ain't, man. That tells me this by off top, and this ain't about him. It's just more so of trying to illustrate the example of being entitled. You're missing out on lessons that you could learn by being entitled.
Right.
He missed it in his 60s and his 70s. He missed it. Because he thinks somebody owns something. So he didn't have to go learn it for himself.
Right.
He just ain't learned the lessons that all the time out here doing whatever he been doing out here in these streets, he ain't learned nothing yet. Well, it don't seem like to me.
If he did, he ain't applying it. So it don't fucking matter.
So he didn't learn shit.
Right.
You know, because I would be the first to say, first, I used to be the nigga that I had to go through a gang of different fucking mistakes and still didn't stick. It does now, because now I'm at the stage in my life where I learn from my lessons.
Don't go through all this shit in life in vain.
Yeah.
Don't go through it just to go through it.
That ain't what we here for,
and then
man.
correct it.
I'm saying that to any younger man out there. I'm 40 now. So, but if I could tell the younger me, the 20-year-old me, the 30-year-old me, you don't have to repeat the same mistakes. You're going through these things so you can learn from them and be better than it. You don't. I was stuck on stupid for a long time. I really fucking had to keep going through it and bump my head over the same fucking mistake over and over and over to finally be sick of it.
And here's something. I mean? Here's a good quick tip. If you just sit back and observe, a lot of times you can avoid those problems. You don't even need to go through them.
Yeah.
If you just sit back and observe and say, I will not do that, or I will do that. A lot of times you don't even need to go through these lessons. Now figure that out.
And do that. And
you don't even have to go through
and do that with the idea in mind that don't nobody owe you shit. As long as you remember that don't nobody owe you shit,
you will always be
all right. You always have the energy to go out and get it. See, motherfuckers don't have the heart to go get it because they think somebody owe it to them.
Right.
It's just that simple. When you have the idea that's owed to you, why would you have the drive to go get it?
It's not gonna just come to you.
It ain't, man. I'm sorry to tell you.
Telling you right now.
It ain't.
Laid it for me.
I ain't saying you gotta go sell a fucking kidney or bust your ass for it, but you're gonna have to do something, man.
You do have to do something.
You got to connect the dots in some kind of way. If that means getting up off your ass and going to the goddamn store or going to the job that you really don't know if you really want to do.
You still got to connect the dots.
You got to connect the dots somehow. Maybe not. Maybe it ain't the job you want, but because you showed up, now you met somebody else that can introduce you to the job you want to get. But you will never know if you don't go do something.
You're not gonna just get it. You're not entitled to that.
You're not entitled. It ain't just. It's deserved. Yes, you deserve it. Yes, you're owed that by the universe because it's your birthright to have everything you want in this life.
100%.
But it's not owed to you in that sense that it's gonna come to you. You gotta go get it. That's the only catch.
Right. So we're gonna leave it like that.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind, like we said, entitlement 100% leads to failure.
Don't
100%.
Yeah. Don't fucking sabotage your success by thinking that you're owed it. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
You gotta go get it.
Right. So like always, if you think you might be able to learn from this, like and subscribe to this video, to this channel, and share it with somebody.
For sure.
If you know somebody right now, matter of fact, if you think you might be that person with the mentality, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments.
Yep.
Let us know if you know somebody. Share it with somebody who can use this. You know, if you got a brother, a cousin, or a son who you think might have an entitled mentality, share it with them. Let them know. Let's see what they might learn from this.
Yeah.
For sure, because that's why we do this. You know.
Most definitely. So yeah, I just want to say thanks for anybody that tuned in and even thought about checking us out. If this shit connected with you, let us know. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, and I love you. You know, and I love myself. I love myself just as much as I love you. I'm able to love you because I love myself. See what I'm saying? We're equal. I ain't no better than you. I just love myself. So take some time to love yourself for yourself because you deserve it.
Sure. Please.